Hi, you guys, welcome back. So we are once again looking at older board meetings that coincide with the current month that we are in. So this particular board meeting took place in October of 2021, and it is just 5 months into Tiffany's mayoral tenure. Now tensions are already high, all right, and the trustees and Tiffany don't seem to be getting along. Surprise, surprise, right? So I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit first, and then I'll chime back.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is Melly Fitness, trustee Ryan.
Good evening, all. It'll be very, very brief. With the fitness center, after talking to the finance committee chair, we are still losing funds for the Melody Fitness Center. May through August, we have a loss of $25,000. As of today, we don't have any plans as to what we're going to do with the Melody Fitness Center, but I will reach out to the mayor. I know he once spoke about maybe having the YMCA to come over and take a look at that facility. But as of today, we have no plans as to what we're going to do with that. But we still have the cafe that's the only person vendor that's utilizing that facility right now. But we definitely have to come up with something because within 4 months, we've lost $25,000. And there's still 4 more months to continue throughout this year. So we definitely know we'll be at a loss. But I definitely will reach out to you and probably come up with a meeting to meet and see what are some of the ideas that we want to do with the fitness center.
Update as it relates to Melly Fitness. It is on the table for YMCA. No one has gotten back with us. I know that the attorneys have reached out to them to get a clear answer of direction. Either A, they want to move forward with us and rent the facility, or is it a dead no? So I'm hoping to have some clarity by the end of this month is what I put the deadline as it relates to yes or no with YMCA. The second option on the table was regarding our government bodies. So that's the park, the library, and the school boards. Now I've met with all the presidents of each body, and they both have agreed that they will take on the burden as it relates to the price. They have to get their board on board in order to move forward. So I had Chris to divide the numbers to tell them each of how much it would cost if each of them take a portion of it. That way it can stay within the community and each of them can use it for the kids that do go to Thornridge, Lincoln School, things of that nature. So those are 2 options that is on the table currently for Melanie.
So this is interesting because I don't really remember her saying much about the YMCA and her reaching out to them and trying to get them to come in and take over Melanie Fitness. My thoughts are, and these are just my thoughts, is that was just a bunch of BS. I really don't feel like she reached out to YMC. I feel like she had her plans that what she wanted to do with Melody Fitness all along, so she was just kind of dragging it out until it was time for her to just pretty much implement her plan, which was to make it into a police station, SLC community center, which we all know by now never happened. If you guys have watched any of my past videos, you know that she had the village spend $50,000 on a police sign, and now it's just sitting there on an empty building. But I digress. What I'm really trying to say is that Tiffany Henyard doesn't know how to connect and doesn't know how to get things going because she's always arguing with people, and she never wants to compromise. At least that's what I've seen. So I really don't see her working with the Parks Department because we know she's already had beef with them, okay, and whatever other branches of government. She says she reached out to. I don't see that happening in a civil way, which is why you know she's been sued so much, and just because she just doesn't know how to act, okay. I'm going to just say it, the child acts like she has no home training, so my guess is whoever she reaches out to doesn't want to work with her because she built that reputation for herself of just being a nasty person that'll lose a lot of business for you. Customer service goes a long way, and that's customer service internal and external. You don't just have customer service to the residents, you have to have customer service to the board of trustees, the people you work with, and the government that you work in, or else things are just going to fall, and it's going to fall fast. But what do you guys think? Do you think she actually sincerely reached out to the YMCA and her other branches of government to try to get something going, or was she just kind of waiting it out to introduce her idea? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. All right, let's get back to it.
Next on the agenda, we have corporate bills. Trustee Yass.
Thank you, Mayor. We have, I'm pulling up the list right now. We have 2 warrant lists to be read. Combined, we have corporate payments register 198.
So you guys, we're not going to listen to him read off all the bills. We will, however, go ahead and get to the juicy part, okay, because that is when Trustee House elects to pay, you know, the bills. But then he wants to add another bill in there, which is kind of interesting because nowadays we see him taking out bills, right? So let's go ahead and get to that part and see what that's all about.
Move to pay registers 197 and 198 collectively with one addition. There was the severance payment, which was approved by the board. I would ask that payment be added to the register.
So you making a motion?
That's my motion. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. There is a motion and a second. Can you call the roll?
Mayor, we would do discussion.
Oh, you got discussion. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. That was it.
What Ayati has discussed discussion, you're not the only one that want to discuss things. I think she's just always waiting on her turn to talk, and her grandstanding moments that she forgets that after they make a motion that there's discussion, and that other people would like to discuss things too. May yes, you're not the only one. All right, let's hear what he has to say, because she sure just tried to gloss over that.
Discussion?
Oh, one item on there I wanted to ask about was one that looked like it was paid on the last warrant list, but I didn't have an opportunity to talk about the critical marvelous media was on page 6 for 2 payments, and it looks like that was paid on the last warrant list. I wanted to ask Chris, is that a duplicate invoice, or is that something different?
I believe that was pulled on the last warrant list as not to be paid, so that's why it's on this warrant list.
Okay.
Because in the system it still showed it outstanding, that it was rent, but it was not processed through for a check.
It was not okay.
Chris, it was a different amount last. I'm sorry, can I be recognized again? It was a different amount on the last warrant list, and so if it wasn't paid, then why it's not the same amount?
1 second, let me pull up. No, the invoices 180 and 183, they're both for the same dollar amount on the last warrant list. So warrant list for the 9/7 bill run, the invoice 180 and 183 were both for the same dollar amount as it is on the 10/4 warrant list. Now, in the last bill run, the amount was larger for the overall payment, but they had more invoices on there.
The one that had $4,600.
Yes, that one had 5 invoices on that warrant list compared to this one only has 2 invoices on there.
Okay, so if on the last one it was some, and then we voted. I mean, you had them removed, so now only 2 of them are being placed on the warrant list.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
So you guys, this is an example of what the trustees should be doing. They should be asking questions if there's anything on the warrant list or on any type of list that looks confusing or doesn't seem to add up. They should absolutely be asking questions. And so this is still earlier on in Tiffany's mayor tenure, like I said. And so questions are actually being answered, and she's allowing the departments to answer questions now. When things started to really go left is when she cut off that communication between the department heads and the trustees and pretty much ordered them not to give the trustees the information they need to vote on the bills being presented before them. And of course, things just went downhill from there. So next is Trustee Brittany Norwood, and she has some questions about some cleanup that was done that costed a lot. And so the information they got about who did it and who got paid and how much was paid was kind of blurry, so she's just looking to get some firm answers on that.
I guess my second question was, I just wanted to know what the EPA cleanup was that, in addition with the homework that we agreed on, that we approved the board, was there something different in terms of the $25,000 and the $15,000 for the EPA cleanup mulch?
Okay, Chris.
Let me pull up mulch.
Yeah, because he said EPA cleanup mulch pickup.
Yes. So what's your question, Trustee?
My question is this something separate from, is this an additional cost, or is it an addition to the home? I know that we approved Homer to come out to remove the trash, remove the mulch. So I was just wondering, is this $25,000 and $15,000 in addition to the $7,000, $5,000 that we approved to Homer, or is it together?
This is a different vendor, but it all relates to that EPA situation you guys have and the repairing and the cleanup of that area.
So I'm already noticing some tricky language here, right? So what Brittany is basically asking, she's noticing some extra charges related to this EPA cleanup. And what she's asking a simple question. Are these extra charges included in the $75,000 that we approved, or are they additional charges? And if so, where are they from? And so Chris's response was yes, it's related to the EPA cleanup. He's not saying it's an additional charge to the $75,000. He's kind of beaten around the bush and avoiding the actual question. And this is where more of that uncertainty kicks in, and the trustees are really getting to see how non-transparent Tiffany Henyard can be, even though she ran her whole campaign off of transparency. All right, let's continue and see how this plays out.
So I guess I just want to be clear. So the 75,000 that we approved as a board, is this 40,000 coming out of that 75,000 that we approved, or is it an addition? So are we paying the $75,000 that we approved for Homer and this $25,000 and $15,000, or is it all just coming out of the $75,000 that we approved?
You want to answer?
No, I'm making the question clear.
It's coming out of the 75,000 altogether. So I'm hoping he can clear it up. Yeah.
If you need me to specify there, I can.
So you guys, here we go. Another interesting thing I noticed was that Chris went silent. Okay, when Brittany was asking for a specific answer, he had nothing to say, almost like he didn't want to incriminate himself. Okay. And then Tiffany chimes in like, yeah, no, it's coming out of the 75,000. Because we know she has no problem with, bending the truth. We'll say that, okay, allegedly. So she chimes in, and then the head of the public works department, he chimes in, which is just one of Tiffany's cronies that she hired. And of course, he has no problem bending the truth as well. So let's continue and see what he has to say.
Go ahead.
So the 75 was approved. We used the change from that because Homer only invoiced us somewhere around 39,000. We used the change from that 75 to continue the cleanup process.
Yeah. Okay, so we use what Homer charged us, and then we have this amount coming out of the 75,000.
Correct.
Perfect. That's what I was wondering. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay. Any more questions?
So basically he's saying that the cleanup didn't cost as much as they thought it would cost, but they had extra money left over, and they used it to clean up. F for some reason, something tells me that they didn't use that extra money to extra clean up. But like I said, he wouldn't have a problem be the truth, because that's one of Tiffany's cronies. The other thing is that I could see Brittany didn't really ask the questions she wanted to ask, and she kind of gave up, and that's something that unfortunately the trustees did a little bit too much earlier in the game. And that's how Tiffany was able to get away with so much of this little slick stuff, okay, because we know with all that extra money, she didn't just use it to just clean up. All right, I'm going to just say that that's my opinion. I'm going to say that too. Because if she did, why didn't the trustees know about it? Why wasn't that brought to the board? As far as, okay, we have this amount of money left, these are the vendors I'm going with, and this is what they're doing, that was not brought to them, or else Brittany would never have to have asked that question in the first place. All right, now, let's move on because there's more.
B. Approval of Resolution 21- related to a contract for media consultant, high society management. I'm gonna open the floor up. Anybody have any discussion regarding this? But no discussion? Okay. Is there an approval to, well, can I have a motion to approve a contract with high society management? Okay, does the board have any discussion regarding? I got any comments on anything? Okay. Yeah, you got anything? Anything to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that we discussed the PR once before, but overall, I just want to wait until. I know that Chris stayed on the finance meeting. We need to watch our spending on finances. So I just want to wait to see what things are. That's my answer with that.
Okay. So for the record, from our board of trustees, it amazes me how you guys vote on things such as giving someone a service package of $7,000, which we did not budget for, but we found the money to do. But yet, when it's something that's needed for a community, such as a PR, so when something bad happens, you have a person, that's said that you have to put that on the back burner, but you will make sure that y'all just voted to pay a young lady $7,000 that only been here for 5 years.
So let me get this straight. She's talking down to the trustees because they want to make sure the finances are in order before they go and hire on this big media PR company. But Tiffany is complaining about an employee who has been there for 5 years. Mind you, in 5 years is not a short time to be with the same employer, so I don't even know what she's talking about right there. But she's complaining about that employee getting a SANS package, which obviously she qualify for, or else she wouldn't be getting it. So I think there's an underlying issue with her. And that employee, whoever that is, just added to the list of people that Tiffany Henyard have an issue with. Okay, it could be almost anyone at that point, right? But we can just kind of see where her headspace is and how she reacts to things when it doesn't go completely her way. All right, let's continue.
I don't think that's right. I think y'all should reconsider that. And y'all keep saying y'all waiting on the budget and the money. We didn't budget for that, but y'all just approved that. But y'all gave Sean Howard a contract for 4 years with no problem. And all I was doing was replacing what was there. So it wasn't like it wasn't budgeted before. That was already in the So, to my trustees, if you guys will reconsider, anyone else before we move on to the next item? Okay. Next on the agenda is...
So the trustees didn't fold despite her little attempt to bully them and into changing their minds. All right, fun fact, she did end up hiring on Dr. Nikita Cloud, who is the founder of the company that she's talking about, and she hired her on as her chief of staff. So I don't know if she did that to circumvent the trustees' vote about the per person. But anyways, Tiffany got what she wanted. But in the end, the relationship between Tiffany Henyard and our Nikita CLA soured, and it soured so much that she went on the Board of Trustees YouTube page and made a whole video filling all the juicy details about Tiffany Henyard and how she was and how unprofessional she was and all the horrible things she does. So yeah, you guys, that's interesting video. If you want to go check it out, go to the Dolton Trustees YouTube page. It's on there. It's like a 30-minute video. And she is spilling the beans, let me tell you. All right, let's go ahead and continue because Tiffin is now going to talk about the trustees' little secret squirrel meeting. She doesn't refer to it as a secret squirrel meeting, yet because remember this is an older board meeting, but she does say the meeting was illegal. You know what's funny? That I often find some of the people who break the law the most always have the nerve and audacity to tell someone else that what they're doing is illegal. Do you guys happen to see that same pattern too? Let me know down in the comments. Anyways, let's get back to it. If you've made it this far, please remember to hit that like button on your way out to either another one of my videos, okay, or wherever else you're headed in this YouTube universe. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to leave it a like. And if you're new here, subscribe. Next, you can see a graphic that depicts where the village started as of April of 22, with positive of $56 million in the general fund, and where we are as of May of 2024, which is a negative $65 million, particularly given overtime. What we saw is two outliers in officers, Officer Terry Young and Officer William Reed. Both of these individuals in the last 2 years have earned more in overtime than their base compensation. I say people keep feeding you stuff, but I don't ever want to hear another side and show you actual truth. You asked for transparency, here it is, and thanks for watching my video.